Hey guys, welcome to Disney Does Dolls and Figures Special Part 1. It's Disney Dwayne here with the hair. As I was putting together this episode, I realized that there's just so much to talk about, so we're going to probably have to do it in parts. Now, having said that, it's a really significant time for Disney, especially for the doll making industry, because they've recently dropped their doll manufacturer Mattel after almost 20 years for a new manufacturer, Hasbro. If you want to find out the details, I provided a video and a link below. Do watch that as an introduction. So before we look at the Hasbro dolls, let's look at Mattel's dolls over the past almost 20 years and pay tribute and honor to that. But before we even get into that, I just want to say that it was quite difficult putting all this information together because not all of it was in one place. So just like my Disney Music Comprehensive Guide, I think that this will probably be one of the most comprehensive guides you will find so far. But this is a community, so if there's something that I didn't cover that you know about, please feel free to add comments below, as well as write to me at the Facebook page, Once Upon a Fairy Tale Time, the podcast, or you can follow me on Twitter or tweet me there at Disney Dwayne. Let's start with Mattel. I just want to say these pictures were found on the internet, so if they're yours, thank you very much. You have contributed to a great cause. Some of them are mine too. I've used Photoshop to put them together, and of course in every collection there are probably going to be, dolls that are missing, but this is just to give you an idea of what is in each collection. And I'm assuming this would be the oldest collection, Disney Classics. Over the top left you can see Sleeping Beauty and Prince Philip. On the top right, Cinderella and her Prince Charming. Of course, we're missing Snow White and her prince. But below, you see the Beast right in the middle of two different types of bells. One's a winter bell, and another is Belle in a golden dress. And of course, we also have a Fairy Godmother on the bottom right. Over here, we do have Snow White. The first two look exactly the same, I think, except that they're in different boxes. The third one is a different version, and of course, I really don't know which collections these belong to. I'm just pulling them out here so that we can have a comparison between the different types of boxes and dresses. It does seem that the third one is from the Princess series collection, but I actually haven't been able to find any other dolls from that collection online. Moving along, here are some other dolls. We see our first two male dolls. We see Cocoam on the far right and Genie just below him. We also have Alice in a very, very colorful box. All these are very colorful indeed. Mulan, a classic doll collection, and Jasmine in a really funky outfit. Now let's take a look at Aladdin. This is the standard Aladdin doll that I found. It comes with his street rat outfit, as well as a boo and a magic lamp that you can rub for your wishes to come true. If only that were true. This is the back real quick, and if you take a look at this other one, which I also got, you'll see that Jasmine is included. It's a gift set, which includes the magic carpet that actually plays music. Of course, I don't know what it plays because I don't take it out of the box, the value and stuff like that. If you look over here, you can also see that there are other things available in the lineup. There's a fashion genie. There's just so much. It's just epic. We also have Aladdin out of the box. I found this at the Salvation Army, and this is how he looks. At least I get to play with one doll, right? Basically, if you're into the specifics, his arm moves like that, but his elbow and wrists don't move, his knees don't move either. Most of the Mattel dolls are like that. Just like the Aladdin couple gift set you saw earlier, here are 6 other gift sets, 2 of which belong to Belle and the Beast. The middle one's the wedding edition. On the top right, we see Hercules, and at the bottom left, we start with Hunchback of Notre Dame, featuring Esmeralda and Phoebus, Tarzan and Jane, and Mulan and Shang. Let's continue with more Mulan and Shang at the bottom there in yellow. These are combat figures. Up top, we have Water Jewel Magic Aladdin and Water Surprise Jasmine. Joining him on the right, we have 2 versions of John Smith, the Color Splash Tattoo John Smith and Sun Colors John Smith. I have 2 in the Enchanted Seasons collection. One is Summer Seas Ariel. Her hair's a little flat, like a pancake. It's kind of weird, but it does look like her, and her mermaid outfit's pretty cute. This next one is Autumn Rose Belle, and this is the second in the series of 4. This Belle doesn't actually look like Belle to me. but her dress is nice.
You can see here after Ariel and Belle, there's Winter Frost Sleeping Beauty and Spring Blossom Mulan.
This is 1 out of 2 in the film premiere collection, Mulan. This is one of the more gorgeous ones that Mattel has done. If you open it up, you can see there's a lot of attention to detail in the costume and everything.
So that was Imperial Beauty Mulan, and as part of the film premiere edition, the other is Aqua Fantasy Ariel. There is a special Sparkles collection. Here we see Snow White, Jasmine, Cinderella, and Belle. This Holiday Princess collection features Snow White, Cinderella, Belle, Jasmine, and Tinkerbell. And it seems they added Ariel later on in 2013. We're still on Mattel dolls. They certainly have a long history with Disney. I really wish there were a museum we could walk through to look at the entire collection, but you know, this is better than nothing, right? This is the classic collection, and you can identify them because of their octagonal-shaped boxes, which are 8 sides. This is definitely more recent. You could tell that there's Rapunzel there, joining Ariel, Belle, and the Beast. They've used the same boxes for this collection. It's a different one called the Signature Collection, probably about the same time, but this time around they've coupled the girls together. We have Little Mermaid and Ursula, as well as Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent, and Anna and Elsa, among other standalones. Mattel also makes dolls from Disney's live-action movies. Here we can see Giselle from Enchanted, together with Patrick. Now, it gets a little complicated from here because the Mattel branding has disappeared from these dolls, but I believe that even though it says Disney Store, these particular dolls from The Lone Ranger, Maleficent, and Oz the movie were made by Mattel. Over here, we have a very striking resemblance of Cate Blanchett, who plays Lady Tremaine in the Cinderella movie, and we also see another Cinderella doll there with her prince. And last but not least, in the Mattel collection, I do believe they made these two. We have 2 dolls from the ABC series Once Upon a Time, and only 2 have been released at the time of this recording, and that's of the evil queen from Snow White, played by Lana Parrilla, who's holding those dolls over there. Now, it'd be really interesting to see the consistency of any future dolls from this series, because Mattel has been dropped for Hasbro. So that sums up Mattel. Let's hop over to the Disney Store dolls. Now, there are just so many to cover, and these are just the more recent ones. The reason why I suspect these aren't from Mattel is because Mattel has their own collection of these dolls, unlike the live-action movie ones that they do. And these dolls don't look anything like Mattel dolls, which tend to look more like Barbie and Ken. So let's start with the men. This is great now because I've never actually seen them get this much attention. There are actually 10 of them here. Okay, this is trivia time. See if you can pause this and name all of them before I do. We have Prince Eric, Flynn Rider, the Beast or Adam, Prince Charming, the Prince, Prince Philip, Aladdin, Prince Naveen, Captain Li Shang, and Captain John Smith. Let's move on to the girls collection. They have 2 more than the men do. Let's try and name them the same way. Ready, guys? Rapunzel, Snow White, Belle, Princess Jasmine, Princess Tiana, Mulan, Merida, Aurora, Ariel, Pocahontas, Cinderella, and, do you know this one? Queen Eleanor, who is Merida's mom in the only Pixar movie to introduce a Disney princess so far. Let's not forget the villains. Here we have the evil queen, Maleficent, Jafar, Ursula, and Mother Gothel. Now we can start to compare the dolls. Mattel also released a Flynn Rider, which you see on the left, and the Disney Store one is on his right. For me, the big thing about Disney characters is that they need to look like how they look in the movie. And with many of the dolls we've seen so far, there have been hits and misses. With these 2, I do not think they look like Flynn Rider from the movie. This is another release from the Disney Store with Rapunzel at the wedding with her shorter hair, and this is actually from the animated short Tangled Ever After. Again, Flynn does not look like the Flynn from the movie, but you'll be surprised at what fans can do. Now, this fan not only repainted the Disney Store doll, she shaved part of his face to make him look more like Flynn, and I have to say this is so much more spot on. Well done, Pseudonymous. Amazing job. Now there's another version of Flynn that belongs to a whole different collection that the Disney Store has made, which I will review in part 3. This is my favorite collection of all, and it deserves a whole episode by itself. But in any case, this Flynn would probably be the best looking one, although my top favorite would be the fan-made one, which unfortunately isn't available for purchase. Before we finally move on to Hasbro, let's wrap things up with the Frozen collection. Frozen is so popular, it has its own collection, and even though Anna and Elsa joined the Disney princesses, they're a part of the Frozen franchise more than anything. Here we see the standard Anna and Elsa figures with Kristoff and Hans, and on the bottom right we have Anna and Elsa from the Frozen Fever animated short. Mattel has also released their own Frozen collection. I found some dolls at the store, so have a close look at these dolls here before you make your own comparison between the Mattel dolls and these ones. And then we'll look at the Hasbro ones to wrap up this episode, so let's see if you can remember all 3.
I'm at a store in Singapore, and I still see Mattel dolls here. See, it's by Mattel. But these are interesting. I wonder if they sell them at the Disney Store. It doesn't have that label. Well, not the Mattel ones in general. This one sings For the First Time in Forever. And this one sings Let It Go.
Now, compare those to the Hasbro dolls. Here's Anna and Elsa. What do you think? I think that aside from Anna, Elsa, and Rapunzel, the rest of the dolls don't really look like their movie counterparts. In fact, their heads are generally bigger and disproportionate to their bodies, which they do in the movies too, but I just think not to this extent. I got these pictures from another YouTuber, and I'll put their link in the video description below, as well as any other related links I think you will find interesting.
That's it, guys. I hope that's shed some light on the dolls out there in the Disney universe. But of course, there's going to be more, part 2 and 3, and so be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, in the next episode, we're going to be featuring spin-off series and the dolls from there. Disney Fairies is a Tinkerbell expanded universe, as well as Disney Descendants, based on the movie about sons and daughters of Disney princes and princesses. Also, an original series called Star Darlings. This and more coming up next. Till the next time, goodbye.